Good morning, hello, and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is all about the events that occurred 2 dates in years past, both recognized by actual historians, but mainly things that we personally find intriguing enough for us to bring to you. The sources of this information come from the smart device application Today in History. What happened today in history?
Historical calendar and the website onthisday.com.
For links to those sources, the music, and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar in the description below. Anyway, I am Aozander.
I am Scott.
And today is Thursday, also known as Thursday, August 25th, 2022. Why don't you start us off today, good sir?
Okay, so historical events. Here we go.
Here we go.
So in 325, First Council of Nicaea. Something like Nicaea.
Yeah, Nicaea.
Okay. Ends with adoption of the Nicene Creed, establishing the doctrine of the Holy Trinity. Sounds interesting.
No, the establishing the doctrine of the Holy Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. This is pretty much the birth of Christianity, because it wasn't until like 300 some odd years later where it really started to go. You know, because it wasn't like, you know, yeah, they viewed him as a Messiah. He had his disciples and everything at the time, but it really didn't kick off, I believe, until 300 some odd years later. So this is essentially the birth of modern Christianity.
Yeah, look at that picture.
Yeah.
That's really weird how they painted it. It looks like a caricature.
Yeah, it looks like one of those aliens, you know, like he has a beard, but he's a gray, you know?
Yeah.
If you take the beard away, his chin doesn't go out like that. That's just beard.
And they got the crosses on the...
Yeah.
Whatever that is, yeah.
There is a lot of UFO stuff in Christianity. I mean, there's a famous painting, I believe, it's either the birth of Christ or actually I think it's both. But there's one where there's just a UFO in the background in the air, just glowing,
Yeah, that is a good picture, yeah.
Yeah.
This is actually interesting, though, this whole Christian saint and Greek bishop, this guy, this is actually something you could, maybe look in, because I didn't even realize
Nicholas.
that.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Saint Nicholas, kind of like Saint Michael and
Saint
stuff like
Nick,
that.
Santa Claus.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So that's for... Wow, alright, I don't know, we'll have to go on to the next one, but this one is...
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, it is. Alright, so 1609, Galileo demonstrates his first telescope to Venetian lawmakers.
Ooh.
So cool. The Galileo telescopes and all that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. 1609, wow.
You know what? Think about this. I was just, my conspiracy brain is going, and I was just thinking about how I was talking about, UFOs and Christianity, and then the same date that the essential birth of modern Christianity, telescope. Coincidence?
Yeah. I don't know, yeah.
Maybe
Probably.
I'm onto something, or maybe I'm full of shit, Who knows?
Something else to look into. Alright, so 1698, Tsar Peter the Great returns to Moscow after a trip through Western Europe.
Cool. Yeah.
Peter the Great.
Peter the Great. Yeah. I'm just expecting FBI agents to come crashing through my windows behind me because oh god, he knows. Get him. 1768. FBI, open up! 1768, Captain James Cook departed from Plymouth, England on his first voyage on board the Endeavour, bound for the Pacific Ocean. That was way before the Panama Canal. So he was going to have to go around the Cape of Good Hope in southern South America, pretty much skirting Antarctica. That's the only way to get to the Pacific at that time, because I don't think the Northwest Passage really has been fully driven through at that time either.
Yeah, so they got James Cook and then Joseph Banks, and apparently James Cook was the explorer, and Joseph Banks was a botanist and explorer, so he did stuff with plants.
Yeah, maybe he accompanied him,
Yeah.
Well, that would make sense because you'd want to like categorize potentially new species of plants because you're going out and exploring. So.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Yeah. Especially back then in 1768. Imagine being a botanist and trying to figure
Yeah.
out what plants are like poisonous or stuff you can actually use or.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like you meant like that brings up the story. Who was the first person to see a chicken lay an egg and be like, "I'm gonna eat that"?
Yeah. That is a good question. I don't know how.
I don't know.
It's like who thought about that? It's like, oh well, let's crack this open and like I don't know because there's a lot of eggs I suppose you could eat, but who figured out you can cook them and actually eat them?
Yeah.
And maybe they ate them raw. I don't know.
Yeah, gross. Well, maybe they did because don't the old workout regimen stuff diet. You crack open a dozen eggs and just drink it out of a glass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It might not be the healthiest thing, but yeah, people used to do that quite a bit.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on up into 1802, Toussaint Louverture was imprisoned in Fort de Joncs, Jura, France. Well, yeah, with a hat like that, I mean, I don't see why he wouldn't be in prison. I mean, look at that. And with the epaulets, like he's like, I am the bigger Napoleon. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus. In 1835, New York Sun published moon hoax story about John Herschel. Huh.
Moon hoax story.
John Herschel moon hoax story.
Story. I don't know. You want to look that up, but.
John Herschel. The great moon hoax was simply a sign of its time.
What was the hoax about?
Let's see here. Pulling up the wiki. The Great Moon Hoax was a series of 6 articles published in The Sun, a New York newspaper, beginning on August 25th, 1835, about the supposed discovery of life and even civilization on the moon. The discoveries were falsely attributed to Sir John Herschel, one of the best-known astronomers at that time. Wow.
Wow, that must have been big back then.
Yeah, and they have, like, the Moonanites are depicted to be these furry humanoids with bat wings from their arms to their outer legs. That's weird. I'm gonna add this to the underbar. And I'm sorry I cut you off earlier. What were you gonna say?
No, I was just talking about this. I thought that's hilarious. They had like humanoid bat wings.
Yeah. Your turn.
Okay, so Captain Webb conquers the English Channel in 1875. Captain Matthew Webb makes the first observed and unassisted swim across the English Channel in 21 hours and 45 minutes. Holy moly.
Wow. That is endurance.
Yeah, what a feat that is. I mean, that's an entire... He did that in 21 hours of just unassisted swimming. Oh my, I'll have to look that one up too. That's crazy.
That's insane, dude.
I guess that's why he's a captain. So,
yeah.
Well, just because of something, not everybody can do that. If you're a captain, everyone's going to be looking up to you, and I'd be looking up to him if he could do that.
Yeah, well, if you're a seafarer, then you gotta know how to swim, and that proves that you can do it.
Yeah. The English Channel, wow.
Yeah.
Who is there timing that the whole entire 21 hours? Damn. Unless he did it, but...
Well, I guess they mark, where the time you started, and then when you land, they mark, you're not there with a stopwatch, True, yeah. It's you compile the information, do math, and then, oh, that's the time. What happened in 1892?
So, in 1892, British naval officer David Beatty is promoted to lieutenant.
Cool.
Working his way up the ranks.
Oh, here's this guy who looks like, I don't remember, like Laurel or Hardy, but he's a boxer.
The 1904 champion James J. Jeffries scores a second-round technical knockout win over Jack Monroe in San Francisco. Jeffries retires after his 7th heavyweight boxing title defense.
Nice.
So So he was pretty good back then.
Yeah. And I believe you have one more here. Ooh, perfect.
1924, MLB Washington Senator Walter Johnson, second no-hitter, beats Browns 2-0 in seventh inning. Wait, seventh inning. It's usually 9 innings, but I guess it was different back in 1924.
Yeah, I don't think they had regulated innings back then, because...
Doesn't look like it.
Yeah. I don't know the history of baseball, but I do believe I remember hearing something about, like, you know, they didn't have, like, the you know, the stringent, you know, timing on everything that they have nowadays. And back then, like, you know, like, same as with boxing, they used to just keep going, you know? Like...
Yeah.
So, like, you know, a lot of things have changed. So.
Definitely.
In 1929, Graf Zeppelin passed over San Francisco for Los Angeles after trans-Pacific voyage. Well, that's cool. So it went from the east, or I guess it started in Berlin and went all like halfway around the world. I don't know.
I wonder why they added in the Hindenburg.
Yeah, they keep
explosion.
Yeah, it's, I guess because again, it's the most famous Zeppelin because of, you know, the disaster.
Yep.
And like 1929, I don't know like if there would be any pictures of Graf Zeppelin. Hold on, Graf Zeppelin, 1929. Let's see here, images. Well, this would be good because this is exactly what happened. Like this looks like, yeah. So it looks like they started. Yeah, they went all the way around the world. They started.
Wow.
They started here, then they went all the way up over here through Russia and everything. Went around China, then landed at Tokyo. Went all the way across the Pacific Ocean. Went over San Francisco on its way to Los Angeles, as we just read, and then it was gonna kind of do like a weird, like, you know, serpentine over the continental U.S., kind of dipping in and out of Canada, and into Lakehurst, wherever that is, and then all the way back to where it started. So this was a circumnavigation of the globe in a Zeppelin. That's awesome.
I wonder how long that took.
Well, let's see here. Graf Zeppelin, 1929. It flew from 1928 to 1937. So let's see here. First intercontinental flight, Mediterranean force, around the world flight, 1929. And what year was this? 1929. Yeah. Okay. So let's see here. That's where'd it go? Around the world flight, 1929. Let's see here, blah blah blah, 1929, yada yada yada. It started and finished at Lakehurst. So it started on the east coast of the U.S. That's weird. I thought it would have started in Germany. Well, it must have only taken. Oh, here we go. Wait, flying from Lakehurst to Lakehurst Legs, 12 days, 12 hours, and 13 minutes.
Almost all 12s.
No. The entire circumnavigation, including stops, took 21 days, 5 hours, and 31 minutes to cover 33,234 kilometers, or 20,651 miles, or 17,945 nautical miles. It was the fastest circumnavigation of the globe at the time. Wow.
That's a long time to keep one Zeppelin up.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, you keep the cells, like, you know, replenished and stuff at the stops, and, you know, you'll be good. Like,
so what's the difference between like a Zeppelin and a blimp? Or Zeppelin's just like bigger or something?
Well, let's see here. Difference.
So I'm curious.
Between Zeppelin and blimp. Zeppelin is a type of airship with rigid or semi-rigid structure. It means its aerodynamic shape is held together by metal rings and gas compartments. Blimp is a type of airship with non-rigid structure. It means its aerodynamic shape is held together by internal pressure from the lighter-than-air gas. So there you go.
Wow, that's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It's like the blimp has air and it's pressure, but the Zeppelin is a very rigid structure.
Yes.
That's kept up. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Whose turn was it?
that's a little bit before our time because they don't fly Zeppelins anymore. So it's like that'd be
Well,
interesting to actually see one.
well, the reason why the Hindenburg went up is because it was filled with hydrogen, not helium, or it was filled with helium, not hydrogen. It was filled with one and not the other, because one is actually non-flammable, but the U.S. Was the only producer of it, and they had a global monopoly, and they didn't share at the time. So the Germans were forced to use the more flammable gas, which eventually led to the disaster and the subsequent end of that entire industry. You know.
Yep.
But like, had the U.S. not been, like little meanies on the playground, no, it's my toy, yeah, with the helium or hydrogen or whatever it was that they were doing it with, then things would have been different, and we might actually still be flying in airships today.
Yeah, I guess it's not the same type of thing with planes, because planes go down, but they're not going to take that industry away.
Well, planes operate off of lift and, surface area, like a bird's wings, like you gotta travel at a certain speed, get the air under you, and then you go up,
Yeah, it's a different process, right?
Yeah, very much.
It's a more controllable business and way of going, where the Zeppelins are...
It's called heavier than air travel because, like, Zeppelins and blimps are, lighter than air, and that's, it's buoyancy. You fill something with a gas that's lighter than the air around you, our oxygen, then it'll go up, like how oil floats on water.
True.
Same thing.
It's a pretty interesting conversation about this, though.
Hell
kind
yeah.
of diving into it. It's interesting.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to take us out of it. In 1932, Amelia Earhart completed the transcontinental flight. So didn't we talk about that yesterday? That's when she started?
Yeah, we did. Yep.
Or was it a Trans-Pacific or something?
Yeah, I don't quite remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the same picture. I know that.
Yeah, they just reuse the same picture for everything. That's probably why, they have the Hindenburg here for the Zeppelins. Just like anything involving Zeppelins, just use the same picture. It's easier for memory and everything,
Yeah.
Like I kind of know what it takes to build a website. I took an HTML class back in high school, and you got to have storage for every data bit. You got to have server racks and everything to connect with each other, talk with each other, and everything's communicating all to give you a web page.
True. Yeah.
Well, in 1943, Admiral Lord Louis Mountbatten appointed Supreme Allied Commander in Southeast Asia. So this was the Pacific Theater version of Dwight D. Eisenhower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
never heard about this guy.
Yeah, me either. This is basically in wartime as well.
Yeah, 43.
So,
yeah. Well, that's interesting.
I wonder, why was he appointed in Asia?
Southeast Asia with the Japanese.
Oh, alright, so that's just where they were at the time.
Well, like, it's a Southeast Asia area,
Yeah.
Because the Japanese were all the way out in Vietnam. They were in Thailand. Yeah.
It says he is the Viceroy of India.
Last Viceroy of India. So yeah, that was because so this is Lord Mountbatten. So this is British. So this is a British guy.
Okay.
Well, that makes sense because you have a U.S. guy being the supreme commander in all of Europe, and then you have a Europe guy being supreme commander in an area that's where mostly Americans and stuff are, because the French and stuff weren't fighting with well, they probably were in Vietnam and everything. I don't know, but for the most part the U.S. is the most prevalent force facing Japan. In the Pacific
Makes more sense now, yeah.
So they just kind of like switch places, or something. So, and this guy was the last viceroy of India because at the time Britain still owned India as a colony or something. And after the war, because of the Geneva Convention and all that stuff, or the Treaty of Versailles, I think the Treaty of Versailles is World War I. So the Geneva Convention abolished the colonialism, everything. So.
Wow.
And I think that's somewhere around the time Australia became autonomous. And I remember in 1946, I think Canada got their independence. When did Canada gain independence? Okay, never mind. 1867. That's way before. Huh. Oh, but April 17th, 1982. Oh, wow. Okay, well, there's a lot here. Anyway, let's just keep going here.
Yeah.
Your turn.
Okay. 1944. French General Charles de Gaulle walks the Champs-Élysées in Paris after the liberation of the city from Nazi occupation.
Nice. Yeah. The Champs-Élysées, I think that's that area with, like, where you, hold on, I'll just look this up. I don't know how to describe it. Okay, yeah. The connection between the Arc de Triomphe and the Eiffel Tower. So, like, that whole road area. That makes sense.
So he just walked it after that as like a celebration, or?
Yeah, well, like Charles de Gaulle was the president of France, and he and everybody else got ousted by the Germans, during World War II, and so he kept running the French government in exile, located in the United Kingdom, and called for, the free French people, to rise up in rebellion against the Nazi occupiers, and he was like the spearhead of that whole movement. Like, if it wasn't for him, and if it wasn't for, the people who, like, answered the call to arms that he rang, D-Day might have failed. Because it was, like, all of the French resistance fighters who, like, knocked out power lines, blew up train tracks, like, dug holes in roads, like, anything they can do to, like, cut communications, make it harder, for reinforcements to come and all that stuff.
Yep, they still do stuff like that nowadays.
Well, yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, yeah. That's just that's
part of war. Yeah. Part
insurrection
of war.
stuff. But yeah.
What
happened in 1946?
Okay, so 1946 PGA Championship Men's Golf. Portland Golf Club Ben Hogan beats Ed Oliver 6-4 for first of his 9 major titles.
Nice.
And then in 1948, Bradman scores 150 in 212 minutes in his last innings at Lord's.
Cricket.
I guess this wasn't in the Oval.
The Oval. I found the Oval, actually, viewers. The other day I was just chatting it up and just browsing Google Maps and everything, and I just found the Oval. It's on an island southeast of Manhattan, like, right there. So it's hard to miss. It's literally an oval,
Yeah, it's self-explanatory, definitely.
One more.
1950, Rashomon, Japanese film directed by Akira Kurosawa, starring Toshiro Mifune and Makiko Kyo, is released. Honorary Academy Award in 1952.
Nice.
That's that picture of him again. Yeah, Akira Kurosawa.
Oh yeah.
I wonder how these films are. It has me curious.
Yeah. Well, I'm sitting here thinking, like, it took 2 years. It looks like for them to get an award. Like, practically all, if not all of the other things I've read that have said this got an award, it was either later that year or the next year. But like, this is the first time there's been a 2-year discrepancy. So
I don't know if this is a little separate, but I don't know if you wanted to look up like when The Last Samurai came out, because that's a pretty good movie. I don't know if that's anywhere near this time or not, but
2003.
Yeah, there's an actual there's a black and white one. Maybe I'm just thinking of a different one, but that's all right. Look it up
Uh,
later, I guess.
Old movie. Let's see here. 1974. There's a
Probably.
1990.
Yeah, I don't. It's probably one of those. Yeah, I don't have to figure it out later. But yeah,
Yeah.
that was a pretty good movie. But
Yep.
thinking of Japanese filmmaking and stuff.
Yeah, I want to look into Bollywood for sure too.
Yeah, yeah.
1950, Sugar Ray Robinson knocks out Jose Basora to win middleweight boxing title. Look at that picture. He's like, "Oh, you don't want to mess with me," you know. My face looks soft, but my fists aren't.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
He's giving those butterball eyes too. 1956, to make room for Eno Slaughter, New York Yankees released Phil Rizzuto. They brought in a guy named Slaughter. Oh my god.
Oh my, yeah. That's the holy cow guy, Phil Rizzuto. Yep.
Oh, holy cow.
Yep.
Oh, here we go. Every college kid's life for 4 years.
What the?
1958, Momofuku Ando market the first package of pre-cooked instant noodles, chicken ramen.
I like how they spelled chicken.
Chicken. So that just tells me it's not actually, well, it's not, it's chicken flavor. Like,
Yeah.
if there's actually chicken in it, then you can call it chicken. Because if it's the actual spelling, then that's promissory of, what's in the, the product. And if there's no chicken in there, then that's false advertising, and that's illegal. So,
True.
yeah. So it's chicken flavor, and you can still see now. Like now they say chicken, the correct spelling of it, but it's chicken flavor. So now because of flavor,
That's
they can
true.
get rid
Yeah.
of get away with
If you
it.
take out the packet, yeah, it says chicken flavor. Yep.
Yep.
That means it's probably not even
It's just chemicals mixed together to make the taste of chicken.
It's not even like concentrated, right? You know how they make concentrated stuff?
How do you concentrate a chicken?
Well, I don't know. If you think about what is it like astronaut food or something, I don't know. It wouldn't be like the actual meat. I have no idea. Good question.
But what are you doing? Like compressing the chicken into like a cube? Like
The only thing I could say is something like put it in a vacuum chamber and dehydrate it.
chicken.exe or chicken.zip. So we're zip filing the chickens. Holy cow. No, I never thought I'd ever say that sentence. How do you concentrate a chicken? 1960 demonstrations against Congolese Prime Minister Patrice Lumumba Ikurumba took place. Alabamba. I think it's your turn.
Yeah, and plus, I don't know, I'm thinking that it's like, how do they, if it's not real chicken, how do they put together ingredients like, yep, this is chicken?
Well, you can look at the chemical compounds of the actual, flesh and the meat and everything, and you can artificially replicate the flavor by, finding, other chemicals, or things that are akin, and then just, compressing them together, and then it's, the same outcome. It's not actual chicken, it's synthesized. This is how they're making all these synthesized meats. Like if you take hydrogen and oxygen together, you make water. Same thing.
True.
So
maybe they should start doing that in California then.
they already are. Like now they're putting bugs in all the plant-based shit. Yeah, like they're putting crushed up. Like there's actually now cricket burgers. Like you can buy cricket burgers, which is crickets that have just been crushed and mushed together into a paste, and then make it into a patty. There you go. Great. Where are we in Ethiopia? Come on.
I don't want
Ridiculous.
crickets stuck in my teeth.
Yeah, no, and plus that stuff is actually medically not good for you. It's indigestible, and it actually it has chemicals and stuff that actually cause harm and might make potential like poisoning or something. I don't know. I saw a video about it not too long ago, and it's called chitin, like chitin, chitin.
Hmm.
Like, and I remember, like, from my old WoW days and everything, like, you get, like, like, you kill the encourage things, all the bug enemies and everything, and they drop their carapaces, their shells, their chittens,
Yeah.
like, and that's
Yep.
what we're eating. We're eating shells, you know?
Shitting makes you hard for shitting. Yeah.
Hmm. Anyway,
Well,
what else
as a
happened?
joke. As a joke, because you said they're indigestible, of course. It's
Yeah,
called shitting.
yeah.
Shitting.
And you think corn and poo is a sight? Oh,
No, I have no idea. Probably going down a
apparently.
rabbit hole here.
Yeah. Moving on, 1963.
Paul McCartney is fined 31 pounds and given a 1-year suspended license for speeding.
Man, this guy just can't stop, getting in trouble, can he?
Doesn't look like it.
Seems like every
Oh, of
week.
course. It's like we talk about that, and it's just the musician and Beatle.
Yeah, the
After
musician
we
and
talk
Beatle.
about
Oh
bugs,
God.
we're
Oh
talking
no.
about bugs.
Soylent Green is people. It's made of beetles. It's people.
1 year suspended license for speeding. I guess he didn't do the safety course,
Yeah.
which will get you out of that. But who knows? That's in the 60s.
Yeah. What else happened?
1963 for speeding. I wondered, cars didn't even go that fast back then. They must have had a low speed limit. But, okay.
Cars could go up to 150 miles per hour back then.
It's true. Maybe he had one of them. I don't know, but
He was Paul McCartney. He's a rock star,
true.
literally. So.
Yeah. 1967. The Beatles go to Wales to study transcendental meditation with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi.
Ah. So he's the guy
Sounds
who's like,
good.
Yeah, I remember they went to Wales, so I thought they went to India, but I guess not. Huh.
Transcendental meditation. So that's like freeing your mind, and that's definitely time of the 60s and 70s there.
Let's
Even though
see.
people do it now, but that's like freeing your mind type meditation, like.
Yeah, transcendental meditation is a form of silent mantra meditation advocated by the transcendental meditation movements. Maharishi Mahesh Yogi created the technique in India in the mid-50s. Link to the wiki will be in the description.
So by then, in 67, he'd probably really gotten popular with it.
Yes.
So that's cool.
Especially with all the hippie dippies, like the Beatles.
Yeah, that's enough, yeah.
So.
He must have been popular if the Beatles go to study it with him, yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, like there's scenes, like there's a scene in Inspector Gadget, the live action movie, where he's like meditating, like trying to learn, how to use his robot body, with a guy who's like obviously looks like this guru here, and then it's a funny scene. Like after the show, look up Inspector Gadget meditation. You're gonna laugh. What happened in 1968? Just 1 year after that.
So in 1968, Arthur Ashe becomes first African American to win the U.S. Singles Championship.
Nice.
Yeah, he's down in the record books. He's very, whenever you look up something for tennis in the record books, he's usually in there somewhere.
Now, it looks like, if you look at his picture, it looks like he has a tiny afro on his afro. Or maybe that's somebody else's head.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Like,
how about that?
Yeah. 1970, Elton John's first U.S. appearance in Troubadour, West Hollywood, Los Angeles, California. Of course, West Hollywood. I'm not saying anything, but I mean, just look at him. He looks fabulous. I'm gonna get so much hate for that, I swear. 1975, Columbia Records released Bruce Springsteen's landmark third album, Born to Run.
I think it's just the glasses, like, for Elton John in that picture. Like, he could stand in the middle of the road, you could see him a mile away.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that brooch is loud, too.
Oh, yeah.
But those glasses, that's a shade of pink I didn't know existed.
That's like, they call it hot pink, that's like sun pink.
That's flaming pink. God,
Yeah.
I'm digging myself in a hole. And that joke can be taken the wrong way too. Oh no, I'm gonna get shot. I'm just straight up gonna get shot. 1977, Canadian NHL player Tim Horton posthumously inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. And this is the guy who started Tim Hortons, right?
That's
The
right.
restaurant?
Or Horton, or the book Horton something of who or whatever it is.
I don't think he's affiliated with that, but I was kind of right. He co-founded Tim Hortons, which is a donut chain, and it
Oh,
currently
he
has
did. All right.
it currently has over 3,000 locations across Canada. Wow.
And that was posthumously, so that was later, I guess.
Yeah. So Tim Horton, he died in '74 in a car crash at the age of 44. That sucks.
That is unfortunate. Yeah, well, back in the day, cars did not have crumple zones, and they were a lot more dangerous.
I don't think they had seatbelts back then either.
Yeah, so. Unfortunate, yeah.
1979, TV series Heart to Heart starring Robert Wagner and Stephanie Powers premiered in the U.S. on ABC.
Robert Wagner sounds familiar, yeah.
Yeah. What happened in 1981?
Voyager 2 spacecraft in 1981. Voyager 2's closest approach to Saturn, 63,000 miles out of 100,000 kilometers.
Yeah. Well, it's miles to kilometers, so 63,000 miles equates to 100,000 kilometers. Going from imperial to metric systems of measurement.
So that's the closest approach. I wonder if it could have gotten any closer, because when you think about it, what is that like? How many miles are around the entire Earth?
25,000.
So yeah, that's still, it's close, but that's still pretty far.
Yeah, but you gotta consider that Saturn. It has high gravity, and this is
it's just gonna suck it in. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Saturn is pretty fascinating planet.
Yeah, the second largest planet in our solar system. Like those rings.
Yeah.
Jupiter has rings. Actually, Uranus has rings. Neptune has rings. I think even Earth has a ring. It's like very faint, but I think we do.
And we can't even really see underneath those rings, but we know it's like got crazy, storms with the red eye, whatever that is.
Yeah, Jupiter. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Jupiter's eye, and you never know what's underneath that atmosphere. We haven't been able to get there.
We did send a probe in there, and I think. And it sent data like for about 3 seconds before it melted, or something like that.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't one? I don't know if it's Saturn or Jupiter, but one of them has like a lot of sulfur in the atmosphere. It's like yellow or something.
Saturn is more yellow.
Yeah.
Although Jupiter has like a lot of those bands, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. What happened in 1985?
1985, Dwight Gooden becomes youngest pitcher to win 20 games at 20 years, 9 months, and 9 days old.
Dang, why he looks so angry though? Like, bro, stop being mad.
That or a little like spaced out, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, winning 20 games is a big thing for a pitcher, definitely.
yeah. Oh, another baseball record here.
And then, of course, in the '86, that's when they won the World Series. Okay, here we go. 1986, A's Mark McGwire hits his first major league home run. Wow, that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Of course, he would go on to hit many, many more.
Yep, and then like become a space marine. Like, just get all PC.
Yeah, that picture.
Yeah.
He's a hitting coach there. That's like way later.
Is that hat San Diego?
Yeah, that's the Padres.
Oh, okay.
Not many people, I don't know if they know about, the steroid thing after, but he had to testify in front of Congress on television, which was, I watched that on, they have that online, and that's like, they have, I think, like 5 or 6 players that all had to test in Congress about their steroid use and all the allegations. And he was the front runner of it all. Yeah, they used him because, but that's what he's known more for after his baseball career. But, he was, a great hitter. They saved baseball basically in 1998 and got it really popular with the home run race.
Yep. Like, I even know the name, and as you know, like I've said this before, like, I don't know much about sports, but if I know a name, then there's a reason, you know? Like, it's gotten famous enough to get to me, you know?
Yep, true.
What happened in 87?
1987, Madonna sings in Rotterdam.
Alright. In
Pretty,
1991, Carl Lewis ran 100 meters in 9.86 seconds. See, this guy's happy about his accomplishments, you know? Why can't that other baseball player, you know, like, be smiling like this dude, you know? Carl Lewis. In 1991, Linux was born when Linus Torvalds sent off an email announcing his project to create a new computer operating system. Good, good. And Linux is becoming like more and more user-friendly and everything, and man, I'd love to switch to that. Get off of this, you know, it's kind of strange. In politics and in computing, we have a bipartisan system. You're either Republican or, you know, Democrat. You're either Apple or, you know, Mac. Or Apple or Windows. Wow, I'm stupid. But Linux, you know, a good third party. So.
Yeah, I've seen some of it, but I haven't experienced trying it myself.
In 1997, Welsh rock band Stereophonics released their debut studio album, Word Gets Around. Huh. Stereophonics, I don't believe I've heard of them.
Yeah, me either. That's Stereophonics. That's probably two words or something they put together, like stereo and something phonics.
Yeah. Well, phonics is like, you know, like talking and stuff, so they're talking in stereo.
Yep.
Because, like, Hooked on Phonics is about, like, you know, like, verbalizing the alphabet and, like, spelling and everything to make it easier to learn. Like,
true, yeah.
Phonetically would be to say something the way it's spelled. So.
I remember Hooked on Phonics, yeah.
Yeah. So phonetic phonics, you know, the you know, adjacent meanings of, I believe, is. Like, I you know, I would look it up. I don't even know how to look it up. Like, you know, what does phonics do? Oh, fuck it. What does phonics mean? What does phonics mean? A method of teaching people to read by correlating sounds with letters or groups of letters in an alphabetic writing system. Exactly what I said.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
yep.
I hit the nail on the head with that one. I'm smarter than I think. I'm not a dum-dum. Scotty, though, 1998.
So you use sound and mixed with a picture.
Yes.
Is that what it was? Very interesting.
Like, well, audio with visual learning and stimulation. So not essentially a picture, but like, you know, A, B, C, you know, and then that's why, like, you know, when they say things like enunciates, you know, like sound it out, you know, say it phonetically, you know, like build a bridge to help you, you know, be able to say the word a lot better.
Like the alphabet, like A, B, C, D, like something like that. Or
pretty much.
Something like that.
Yeah, essentially like that. So stereophonics is essentially just like that concept, but in stereo. So we surround you with our education. I don't know.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's pretty interesting.
It is. So, 1998, the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill debut album by Lauryn Hill is with 5 Grammy Awards, including Album of the Year, Billboard Album of the Year in 1998.
Dang, look at that hat.
Yeah, that's some 50s hat
that's
right there.
Cool hat. What else happened?
Well, we know you and Ao and his hat collection.
Oh yeah, you can actually. I had it busted out yesterday, and I have to still put it all back in the boxes. But I have some of these still laying out.
So, okay, yeah, in 2006, former Ukrainian Prime Minister Pavlo Lazarenko is sentenced to 9 years in federal prison for money laundering, wire fraud, and extortion.
Wow. Oh, he was the Prime Minister of Ukraine, so holy crap.
Yeah, and this is not even that long ago.
Wow, yeah, that's right. 2006. Dang.
So he was stealing money, and he was not an honest guy.
No. He even kind of looks like a weasel. Look at him.
Yeah,
He has
like
that
a
he has that Bill Gates vibe to him, you know?
yeah, or that like he's the poster child of Ponzi schemes.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know. That might not have anything to do with this, but that's still like a Ponzi scheme is still like
Yeah.
stealing money from people. But
It's it's a scam, plain and simple.
yeah,
Just a very
correct.
elaborate one. 2013?
2013, the 30th MTV Video Music Awards. Justin Timberlake, Taylor Swift, and Bruno Mars win.
Whoopee.
Also in 2013, Canadian Open Women's Golf. Royal Mayfair Golf Club. New Zealand amateur Lydia Ko successfully defends her title by 5 shots from Karen Icker.
Karen Icker. Karen Icker. Karen Icker. Karen Icker.
It's like one word, yeah.
Like Barack Obama. 2014 66 Primetime Emmy Awards was hosted by Seth Meyers, broadcasted on NBC. Alright. 3 years later, in 2017, President Donald Trump granted presidential pardon to Joe Arpaio, who had been convicted of contempt of court for racial profiling. Oh, I bet that didn't play out well. Like, oh, look at him, he's bailing out racists.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did not go well.
Yep. 2020, the World Health Organization announced that Africa had eradicated polio, defined as 4 years since last case. All right, go Africa. And then
isn't that like polio kind of coming back now?
I think maybe didn't we read something about 2022 polio coming back?
Yeah, I heard that.
2021, but this was during the whole pandemic. 2020 is when it all starts. So maybe maybe they needed to announce that it was eradicated, so that way they can just shift more numbers to the COVID cases to more further validate that agenda.
Yeah, it says it's defined as 4 years since last case, so maybe they have to make that like 5 or 6 years. Because it says like they'll call it eradicated if there hasn't been a case in 4 years. And how do you know that you haven't found at least one person who hasn't, been diagnosed that you found? But
you
I don't know.
Test
that's
everybody.
Yeah, that's just in their regular records, I guess.
Yeah. And I'm gonna take this last one here. 2021, Benny Anderson and Bjorn Ulvaeus musical Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, featuring the songs of ABBA, reopened at the Novelo Theatre in London's West End after COVID-19 interruptions stopped performances in March of 2020. Okay, so it's a restart. So this was this time last year. So,
yep.
Yeah, Mamma Mia's
exactly 1 year ago.
Yep. Anyway, before we move into bursts and deaths, were there any articles that grabbed your attention more than most?
Well, the first couple ones we talked about the Holy Trinity. That was interesting.
Yeah, the first thing in 325, the birth of Christianity, I believe, the modern
right.
Yeah.
And then we went down. We talked a lot about the Zeppelins versus the blimps, and then the circumnavigation, how long it took, like 21 days, whatever it was.
Also, the first telescope, Galileo, coinciding with the whole Christianity thing, at the beginning of the show.
Yep, definitely. So those were good. Also, I guess I don't know that one guy, Captain Matthew Webb, who swam the whole English Channel.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
A lot of crazy events, actually.
There really was, yeah, a lot going on today.
Today was a busy day.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah. And we're not even through with it yet. I actually have to do the split because it's going to take us more than 10 minutes to get through bursts and deaths. So, doing the split right now. Stop recording. Hello, welcome back. We are moving on up into bursts and deaths now. Mr. Scott, why don't you start us off here?
So 1530. Ivan the Fourth, or Ivan the Terrible, or Ivan the Terrible.
Ivan.
Yeah, Ivan the Terrible. First Tsar of Russia from 1533 to 1584. Born in Kolomenskoye, Russia, and died in 1584. Oh yeah, no, this isn't the guy who did the Impale. That's the Impaler
Vlad the
guy. But this
Impaler.
guy,
Yeah.
this guy was really bad too. I mean, look at that face.
Yeah,
But
he looks terrible.
Mhm.
But yeah, like, people have titles based off of what, people call him for. Like, Vlad the Impaler, he impaled people. Ivan the Terrible, he was awful. Alexander the Great, he was a good guy, Like, so. Who else was born on this
yeah,
date?
we have, as
Good,
we go down
good
quite a
luck with
ways.
good luck with that name, man.
Alright, here we go. It looks like, yeah, it's Vietnamese. So, 1911, Vo Nguyen Giap, Vietnamese General Dien Bien Phu of Vietnam War, and politician born in Le Thuy District, Vietnam. He died in 2013.
I have never seen an E with such a marking before. That is, how do you, what? Like, there's a little thing under it. Like, how the, that's
Me
weird.
either.
Yeah. Like, let me look that up, actually. Like, here. E. I just get a bunch of E. Well, it exists. So, I don't know what it, huh.
Yeah, oh, with like the triangle over it, the like up
Yeah,
arrow.
the little thing, and then there's a dot underneath it.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's an, well, I wonder if there's an alt key code for this. Because that's weird.
If you want, you could try to type in how to pronounce Le Thuy District or how whatever, but
It is not in the alt key code. How to pronounce E. Le pronunciation. How to pronounce le. So maybe it's le. I don't know. Anyway,
weird.
yeah, I've never seen that before.
Huh.
1918, Leonard Bernstein was born on this date. He was a U.S. Grammy, Emmy, and Tony Award-winning conductor. New York Philharmonic, 1958 through 69. Israel Philharmonic, London Symphony, and composer. West Side Story, Chichester Psalms, born in Lawrence, Massachusetts, dying in 1990. That is one hell of a resume.
Oh yeah, West Side Story is a good one.
Yeah. He was in the New York Philharmonic, the London Symphony, and the Israel Philharmonic. Like, that's big shit,
Yeah, conductor and composer, so yeah, he
Yeah.
very popular, very good at his job.
Grammy, Emmy, and Tony. Like, that's. I think there's a word for that or something, like a triple music winner or something. I don't know. It's like not a lot of people have all three. So.
Mm.
In 1919, we have George Wallace, was a U.S. politician, a governor, Democrat, Alaska, I think, and a presidential candidate, born in Clio, Alabama, dying in 1998.
Alabama.
Alabama.
He was a segregationist.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, I haven't seen that word in a while.
Come down to California, you'll see it
They
everywhere.
actually they had a term for that back then. My gosh.
Yeah, segregationists. So,
Yep.
your turn.
1927,
Yep.
Athea Gibson, American tennis player, 7 Grand Slam singles titles, born in Clarendon County, South Carolina, died in 2003.
Ah,
Yep. 7 Grand Slam titles, probably pretty good feat for her.
oh man, you got a good one here.
I can't do his voice, but 1930, Sir Sean Connery, Scottish actor and producer for the James Bond films Indiana Jones, born in Edinburgh, Scotland. He died in 2020.
I
Wow.
also voiced a dragon. I voiced Draco in Dragonheart. Was that my best attempt at a impersonation? You know.
Well, it was better than me. I know that.
We have Elvis Costello, born on this date in 1954. Actual name is Duncan Patrick McManus. Pardon me. He is an English rock singer and songwriter. Allison, Watching the Detectives, The Other Side of Summer, born in Paddington, London.
Didn't realize that was his stage name.
Yeah. Elvis Costello. Well, you know, there's Elvis, and then there's, you know, Costello. You merge them together, you know.
Oh, okay. So that's where that comes from.
Tim Burton, 1958, a U.S. film director. Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands. Let's not forget Nightmare Before Christmas. Nightmare Before Christmas? Yeah, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Like, born in Burbank, California. Yeah, this guy, you know. This guy, you know, made stop motion, you know, a thing. Like, you know, again, like...
Did a good job with it, definitely.
Yeah. A lot of dark stuff. What was that? The print,
stop motion. Yeah, I know it's stop motion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was that? The Corpse Bride, right? I think the Corpse Bride.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah. We have a good one here.
1961, Billy Ray Cyrus, American country singer. Achy Breaky Heart, born in Flatwoods, Kentucky. And we know whose daughter came from him, so yeah.
What?
Oh,
oh
Miley Cyrus.
Oh, God.
Yeah. That's her father.
Heart, my achy breaky heart. I think I actually, like, I have square danced once, and I think I square danced to that. I don't know. Like, I don't remember, but like at one point I got taught how to square dance, and it was part of some school or some camp or something I was in as a kid or whatever. But yeah, I've square danced before. It's really weird.
I have not. It must have been fun.
It was different, so I've never done it again because it's just, I don't know, like, I might...
Not your thing, yeah.
Well, I don't know, I might try it again now, because, like, it was just, like, why are we learning this? Like, you know, is this going to be on a test? Like, do I have to practice this? You know, is this, like, a piano type of thing? Like, do I have to impress my parents? Like, you know, no? Then why are you teaching me this? I don't want to learn how to square dance, it's weird. Why am I dancing in a, like... I guess, wouldn't breakdancing be a form of square dancing? You know, if you're on a cardboard box, you're dancing on a square.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I see where you're going with that. Yeah.
And you do it dressed as a cowboy, so you'd be ranch dressing. Put you on a salad. I don't know.
Hidden Valley.
Hidden Valley. 1969, we have Catriona Matthews, Scottish golfer, British Open of 2009, born in Edinburgh, Scotland.
Golf. Yeah, I don't know much about golf, but...
I don't either.
So, it's tough when those come up.
Yeah. Well, golf, the actual, like, the whole thing about golf is weird. Like, you know, like, and a comedian really brought this to my attention. It's a sport with it's the tiniest ball in all of sports, and it's the largest ground in all of sports. Like, why? And you hit it away from you, and you chase after it. Like, the whole concept of golf is just mind-boggling when you think about it. You know?
Yeah, it is really. I had a lot of scenarios running through my head when you said that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, dang, that's true.
What happened? Who was born on 1970 on this date?
1970, Claudia Schiffer, a German supermodel with over 1,000 magazine covers, an Elle, Vogue, and Rolling Stone, fashion designer, and UNICEF Goodwill ambassador, born in Rheinberg, West Germany. Man, that's a lot of pictures. 1,000 magazines.
That makes you wonder, like,
guess you were popular.
Who's on the most magazines? Who has been on the most magazine covers? Oh, well, they have different things. I just want to know, like, you know, in general, but I guess we're not going to find that out. Wait, moving on up. to, well, that's the end of bursts. Moving on into deaths. Starting us off in 383, we have Gratian Flavius Gratanius was an emperor of Rome from 375 to 383, murdered at the age of 25. Ooh, damn. They really hated this guy. Murdered at 25.
Wow, what a name. Flavius Gratanius.
Yeah.
Gratianus, whatever, yeah. Emperor of Rome.
Flavius, it reminds me of flatulence, you know? Like, and Gratanius, like, was this guy like a big, fat, farty guy? Like, he was an emperor, you know, they were overweight, you know, and all that stuff. But then we have...
He didn't live too long, though.
Yeah. Margaret of Anjou, 1482, the wife of King Henry VI of England, dies at the age of 52. So that's the opposite. It went from 25 to 52, the number switched.
Haha. That it did.
Yeah. Ooh, you got a good one.
1688, Henry Morgan, Welsh pirate and privateer who raided Spanish settlements and shipping, dies at 53.
And isn't this the guy who Captain Morgan, the alcohol, is attributed after?
We could look it up. I couldn't tell you for sure, but...
Let's see here. Who... Well, actually, no. Get rid of this. Who is... Captain Morgan named after? I don't know how to say it correctly. So let's see. Privateer Sir Henry Morgan. And this was Henry Morgan. Okay. Captain Morgan is a brand of rum named after the 17th century Welsh privateer Sir Henry Morgan. It was established in 1944 by Seagram after they bought the Long Pond distillery from the Jamaican government and subsequently the rights to a spiced rum recipe produced by a nearby pharmacy. So it's produced in Jamaica. What do you say?
You were correct. You were correct about it.
Yeah. So the drink is based off of a pirate who's probably killed people. Great.
Yep. I guess it's gonna rub off on him.
Yeah. Anyway, you have another one here.
A good year, 1776. David Hume, Scottish philosopher and historian, a treatise of human nature, dies of abdominal cancer at 65.
Dang. And that is an excellent year. We have James Watt, 1819, a Scottish inventor, mechanical engineer, and chemist, steam engine, died at 83. And I believe this is the guy that the unit of power, Watt, is named after. So,
yeah, it looks like it would make sense.
Watt is Watt. Yeah, James Watt's contribution to industry efficiency was commemorated by naming the Watt, W, for him. The watt is a unit of power in the International System of Units, SI, equal to 1 joule of work performed per second. Dang.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And he kind of has a look on his face like, you're like, James! He's like, what?
Back then, that's how you remembered, forever, instead of a YouTube video or something. It's like...
Yeah, actually contributing to the progress of human civilization. What a concept.
Yeah. That's how you'll be remembered for the rest of time.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man, that's reminding me of the memes. Like, 1992, oh, hey, we found a picture of your grandfather. It's like him in the war. And then 2092, oh, hey, we found a picture of your grandfather. It's like some like stick soy boy in like, all this crap and, rainbow hair. Is like, oh, God. If we as a species survive until then, people are like our great-grandchildren and beyond, they're going to look back at these times and just laugh at how outrageously, incomprehensibly idiotic these times are. They're just ridiculous. Like, God, and they're going to look, you'll be watching these videos. Hello from the past, how you doing? Things are hell right now.
I hope, yeah, look, we're doing the show here, and they'll be like, hey, we're actually looking on this day, and we're remembering people, and they'll be like, whoa, remember them from hundreds of years ago. Hey, they talked about them. Actually, they actually looked at something important.
Yeah, yeah. 1822, William Herschel died on this date. He was a German-British astronomer. He discovered Uranus. Died at 83. Wow, he discovered Uranus? Dang, dude. What are you doing? What are you doing letting random ass, British astronomers around, your ear in? Psychopath.
Oh my god. Discovered Uranus.
Uranus. Uranus.
Yeah.
Which now just sounds like pee. Uranus. Great. So we went from poo to pee. Same area, different hole. Let's move on. 1867. Who died on this date, Scott?
1867, Michael Faraday, English scientist, discovered electromagnetic induction, invented first electric motor, dies at 75. Wow, that was a good one.
So it went from talking about electricity, and steam engines to, Uranus to more electricity. So
yeah.
One of these things is not like the other.
Yeah, I think I know which one, but
Let's move on.
Where's my mind gone?
Okay. To the gutter. Welcome.
Oh,
I've been here for a while.
This is a good one.
Yes.
1900, Friedrich Nietzsche, German philosopher and philologist, Ubermensch, and the doctrine of eternal return, dies of a stroke due to syphilis at 55. But yeah, this is a good one. Nietzsche did I'm pretty sure, the whole God is dead thing.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure, you don't quote me entirely, but I have the existentialism book over there with Nietzsche in it, so.
You are correct. Nietzsche,
I knew it, yeah.
as a mid-19th century German philosopher, first declared God dead in the context of his idealism. He might just as well simultaneously have declared reason dead. Indeed, he did just that. So, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating stuff, yeah. That's pretty cool. Wow, I didn't think we would get into this guy. That's a good one for me.
Yeah. Well, we would eventually. So.
Yeah.
1908, we have Henri Becquerel, was a French physicist who discovered radioactivity, died at 55. Wow, so
How could he discover radioactivity without getting, killed by it?
He probably. See, he was born in 1852. And then died in 1900. He was 55. He discovered radioactivity. That's the only thing it says here. I don't know. Maybe he did get some radiation sickness, but
It's a pretty good discovery. I mean, I wonder how, it's it's glowing or something. I don't know how I discovered it.
No, discovering, it's not essentially that it's glowing. It's not like, it's, remind me after the show, I gotta show you a scene about the Demon Core. Because radioactivity...
He's a physicist, so he must have did some type of experiment too.
Yeah, well, it's conducted like microwave radiation is a form of radioactivity, radiation.
True.
Like the sun, radiates. Radiation is from the process of radiating. Sometimes it's seen, sometimes it's not. It's all in the electromagnetic frequencies and whatnot, I believe. So. And yeah, you can't get cancer from too much sunlight, you can get cancer from any form of radiation. Don't stand in front of an X-ray. That's why they put the lead vest on you to protect your organs from getting beamed, even though they're beaming directly into your head. And they're not giving me a lead helmet, so what's going on with my brain? Yeah. Maybe that's how That's how they get you to come back, because you're always never flossing. You know, what if the X-rays mind control to make you not floss, to make you dependent on dentists? You know,
Wow.
that coincides with the theory that if dentists recommend toothpaste, and what puts bread on their table is your business, why would they recommend something that would go against that business?
Now I look at the word too. It's like radioactivity. Does that have
Yeah.
anything to do with like radio waves? It's like, well, if I
Yes.
send you a text across the country, does it have to do with radioactivity? No.
Radioactivity is the emission of ionizing radiation or particles caused by the spontaneous disintegration of atomic nuclei. So never mind, this is something else.
Right.
Radioactive substances or the radiation emitted by these. So
They just put radio into it. It's interesting how
yeah,
it's just the play on words there, like
yeah,
radio.
yeah, yeah. Well, radar stands for radio detection and ranging. So
And it's also spelled the same front and back.
yeah, it is a
Palindrome?
palindrome. Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, sorry that was random, but yeah, I don't know.
Well,
just
race
think
car is a
about
palindrome, and so is Taco Cat.
that. Yeah.
Palindrome is not a palindrome, though.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
So yeah,
1960s.
the radar is though, like you said, has to do with that. That was cool though, knowing that.
Yeah, it is sending waves of energy,
Hmm.
So, because that's what the stealth stuff is. Like, you see like stealth bombers, they have like those flat surfaces. They don't have any right angles. They don't have anything for the radar thing to really bounce off of. Because radar is just like sonar. Sonar is more physical because it goes through the thickness of the water. Radar goes through the thinness of the air. So it bounces off a stealth plane, and it reads back a very small, if any, feedback. So you can have like this enormous bomber, and it comes back. It's like, oh hey, a pigeon.
Yeah, it's like its own type of X-ray technology.
Well, like it deflects it.
Yeah, you get the shape of it when it comes back. Yeah, like a sonar for fishing.
Yeah, essentially like that. 1967, we had Paul Mooney. He was an actor for Good Earth. Died after lengthy illness at the age of 71. Oh, that sucks. He suffered. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And who else died today? Truman Capote, 1984, a U.S. author, Breakfast at Tiffany's and In Cold Blood, died of liver cancer at 59. That sucks.
I've heard of Breakfast at Tiffany's.
I've heard of Weekend at Bernie's. Was
That's
it Bernie's?
another one?
No, like there's one video, or there's a whole movie, Weekend at Bernie's, I think. It's really funny. These guys, like, they get invited to their boss's beach home for the weekend, and then their boss dies of a drug overdose, and then comedy ensues. It's just like, yeah, it's gonna look, real clean slate to the cops that, two employees, just so happen to, oh, our boss is dead, like, and then they found out, like, their boss was involved in some kind of, like, drug cartel or something. So, like, it was crazy. And at one point,
Sounds like
yeah. At one point, they tried just like throwing his body into the sea, and it came back, and a kid started burying it. It's just crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah.
He won't go. We can't get rid of him.
Yeah. Anyway, oh man, it's your turn. You got a big name here.
Yeah, I see. 2009, Ted Kennedy, American politician, U.S. Senator, a Democrat from Massachusetts, 1962 to 2009, dies of brain cancer at 77.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing, but a Democrat, career politician, dying of brain cancer. He is brain cancer,
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, I guess all of his policies just rotted his brain or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
I don't know. Maybe he was a good guy. I don't know. I don't remember anything about Kennedy. I'm not trying to disrespect. I'm just making really terrible jokes based off of current events. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of, I could say it. I mean, he survived, right? He's
Yeah.
surviving Kennedy. But
Oh yeah. Yeah, I guess
Because
he's...
the other Kennedy.
Yeah, they've either been shot or blown up or crashed in a plane or something, you know.
Right.
So he got off easy. The poor Kennedys, our cursed family. You got another big name here.
Aha. 2012, Neil Armstrong, American astronaut, dies from heart surgery complications at 82.
Dang. And Neil Armstrong,
Hmm.
if you spell it backwards, Neil Alien. A little strange.
Ha, yeah.
Ooh. 2018, John McCain, a U.S. war hero and Republican politician, representative of Arizona from 1983 to 2018, and a presidential nominee of 2008, died of brain cancer at 81. Okay, that's a little strange. We have two brain
What's up with the
cancers
brain
here.
cancer?
Yeah, I know. What's up with
The heck is up with that?
What's up with the brain cancer? Yeah. I'm a tumor.
We should look up the freaking numbers for politicians getting brain cancer. Gee. How many get?
Have died of brain cancer. Politicians who died of brain cancer. Oh wow. It says a very incomplete list in chronological order. So we're starting in 1922, Alexander Archibald. Then, oh my god. So, Edward W. Cahill, Edward Moore Kennedy, Robert McNair.
Another Kennedy?
Is this a different Kennedy?
Well, Ted Kennedy died of brain cancer, and then you said...
Edward Moore Kennedy, also known as Edward Ebb Kennedy, Ted Kennedy, Lion of the Senate. This is Ted Kennedy.
Okay, so it's probably no relation, but...
No, this might be the same Kennedy. This was 2008. Wait, no, this was 2009. This guy died in 2009. He was born in 1932. Yeah. Ted Kennedy was born in 19... So it's the same guy.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm also going to add this in the underbar.
Okay.
Alright. And that concludes the show. Once again, you can check the underbar in the description for any links that you may find interesting, including but not limited to everything Omni Coalition. For your dose of Past Events Daily, we stream every day at 10 in the morning Pacific Time.
1 p.m. Eastern Time.
And for all of you and all of us, I am Xander.
I am Scott.
And you are you. And until you catch us tomorrow, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Till then, toodles. Let's go, Brandon.